An unthinkable tragedy in Fall River where a fire at an assisted living facility has killed 9 people and sent dozens more to area hospitals. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Montecalvo.
And I'm Kayla Fish. Now, this all started to unfold around 9:30 last night. That's when firefighters were called to the Gabriel house on Oliver Street. First responders wasted no time getting right inside the burning building, which is home to about 70 people, and doing everything they could to get them out. Their heroic actions kept this terrible fire from being so much worse. We have live team coverage for you tonight. Shannon Heggie and Kim Kalunian are live right now in Fall River with more. Shannon, Kim.
Well, Mike and Kayla, the church bells of the nearby St. Anne's Church just tolled at the top of this 4 o'clock hour, really setting the tone for this really haunting scene here as we're just down the street from where the fire broke out. As you mentioned, at this hour, there are 9 confirmed dead, 1 in critical condition, and more than 30 in the hospital. We're still waiting for the identification of most of those victims, and firefighters that we spoke to here on the scene, Shannon, say they've never seen anything like this in their careers. When they arrived, the front doors were blocked by flames. There were people hanging out of smoke-filled windows, desperately calling for help.
That's right, and a lot of the people we've spoken to here on scene since we got here around 3 o'clock this afternoon are firefighters. They had a news conference around 2:30 because of the utter sadness they're feeling and frustration. They say staffing levels were not where they should have been, and that it could have made such a big difference last night in the outcome. You're going to hear from the head of the union in just a little bit about those frustrations. But we're also talking to people in the community. We met a man that came here from Tiverton who broke down talking to us just about how sad this is, how affected he was reading the headlines of 9 people killed, that he's praying for the one person who's still in critical condition at St. Anne's, which is just down the street from us. And he told us he was going into the chapel to pray, just trying to find some peace with something that is really hard to come to grips with. This is not the kind of result from fires that we see often around here.
And as we've talked about, this was a really labor-intensive rescue effort for the first responders here on the scene because so many people who were living inside this building could not get out on their own. Our Sheena Losciuto has been here at the scene for hours. Sheena, talk us through what you've learned so far.
Well, first off, we've been here on Oliver Street all day long. You can still smell the smoke in the area here, and crews have now boarded up the building behind me that you can see is now destroyed and damaged, while that major investigation starts tonight to really find out what started those flames that killed 9 people. With flames shooting through the front entrance, people desperately wait for help. Fall River firefighters arrived to a burning assisted living facility Sunday night.
It was a nightmare. Just people everywhere, screaming. I saw a nurse running towards the building. Their eyes met with desperate looks from residents who live there, hopeful to make it out alive.
Multiple victims hanging out the windows, screaming and begging for help and to be rescued.
City leaders say the Gabriel house is home to dozens, many dealing with conditions where they could not escape alone.
There are severely compromised individuals in this assisted living facility, which made it all the more challenging. And you can imagine a fire raging.
Smashing windows, getting people out. It was crazy. One guy was brought out with he was onto a couple of guys' shoulders. He was being brought out. It was quite the scene.
Fall River fire officials confirming 9 people died. More than 30 others were transported to area hospitals. 1 person remains in critical condition. This woman got the call from police early this morning. Her uncle, a veteran in his 70s, did not make it.
I've got a lot of thoughts, but I think I'll just reiterate the first one is I think if someone serves for our country, they should be taken care of before anybody else.
As first responders bring out things like medicine and records from the building, there are people here trying to recover in their own ways.
Our only question is how to get his belongings back.
Officials have not said anything about the cause of this fire, something they're looking into.
This is a very extensive investigation. It's going to take a lot of time, and we need to get the facts right before we release them.
The Fall River fire chief says he believes it's likely the smoke from the fire is a major factor in the tragedy. Every single firefighter and police officer in the city was called here to Oliver Street Sunday night.
There was a tremendous teamwork between state assets and local assets here last night that really brought the positive outcome that we had. Again, I say positive outcome wholeheartedly knowing that 9 people did not make it last night, but also knowing that that could have been 39, 49, or 59 without everybody who was here to perform the rescues and make sure that everybody was transported and treated properly.
And the city also tells us that 5 responding firefighters also had to go to the hospital, but we're told their injuries were minor and they are okay. Kim, Shannon.
And Sheena, we're all here live on Oliver Street. You're a little bit closer to the scene than we are. For people who might be familiar with that area, can you talk us through what's nearby and how that's impacted who saw what last night?
Exactly. Well, we're right across the street from a bank here, but then the rest of the street is just a normal neighborhood. So a lot of people really saw that chaotic response last night. They say it was tough to watch, really everyone just waiting, praying for the best as first responders were here, and they were just waiting for updates. And sadly, they were very saddened to hear exactly the outcome. 9 people dead, 30 more transported to the hospital. And of course, that one person still in critical condition tonight.
All right, Sheena, thank you.